Hey, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to sit down today and just share a few things that I've been loving this spring, that I'm going to continue to be loving in summer, and just kind of, let you into the Sprocket Sprite universe a little bit. Some objects I've been loving, some inspirations, blah, blah, blah. Just, a good old favorites video. So let's hop right in. I kind of broke these things that I wanted to share into a few different categories. I wanted to just briefly touch on some stationery things that I have been really loving lately. I kind of shared a bit about my journal ecosystem already in a previous video, but there are a few updates with this. I recently started using a refillable fountain pen. This one is the Pilot Prera in this beautiful yellow color, and I've just been completely loving it. I had tried out a just disposable fountain pen a few months ago, and I loved it, and I wanted to get a refillable one because I just hate to throw pens away and it just feels very wasteful, and I love anything that's refillable, like my refillable traveler's notebook. But I was kindly gifted this by my boyfriend for my birthday, and I've just been using it non-stop ever since, and I see myself using it for years and years. I also wanted to mention July Rose Jewelry because I have a journal charm from them on my traveler's notebook, and I have just been loving everything that she makes. She's a small jewelry designer based out of Chicago, and I have a few things from her already, and I love everything that she makes. I love her world. It's so whimsical and playful and just beautiful. This necklace is by July Rose as well. I believe it's the Sacred Heart necklace. This was also a gift from my boyfriend. And this is a signet ring from them. And then, of course, the Swan Wing journal charm. But I just feel so inspired by what she creates, and it's just so unique and beautiful. I also have been trying out the Paper Republic journals this spring because I've been doing the Artist Way, which we'll get into later. But I wanted to get a nice big journal to, do the Artist Way and do my morning pages and all that. And I've been really loving these. Ignore my neighbors. I got all of the fish set, and they're just so cool. I love that they lay flat. I just really look forward to using these in the morning for my pages and for the writing exercises, and it just makes the experience of doing it so much better. Since we were already discussing it, I had to put this in there. I feel like I've been talking about it a lot, so I will try not to get on too much of a tangent, but this has really punctuated my spring and transition into summer. I'm starting week 10 this week, so I'm almost done with it, but highly recommend if you're trying to build creativity back into your daily life, or if you felt kind of blocked for a while. This has just really helped me and totally changed my mindset and just refreshed my mind around art and creativity. Continuing on in this kind of art, literature, inspirations category, I recently read Taiwan Travelogue by Yang Shuangxi. This book actually just won the International Booker Award for 2026. I read it on my Kobo, so I don't have the physical copy, and I returned it to the library, so I no longer have it on here to show you. But I just loved this book so much. I realized that my favorite books and media are often centered around relationships between women, not necessarily romantic. In this case, it's very much a fine line of romantic and platonic. I was just so inspired by the vision of the author, because I guess there might be some light spoilers in this, so be cautious. The whole time I was reading it, I thought it was a translated novel from the 1930s originally, but that was all part of the novel itself, was this kind of layered onion of translator's notes, some real, some fictional, and I just found it so inspiring how she kind of wove this web to create this this amazing story of two women in a really interesting time in history. It takes place in Taiwan during the time when it was colonized by Japan. It's about a Japanese novelist and her Taiwanese translator, and it just kind of really explores the relationship of colonized versus colonizer and relationships of power dynamics and interpersonal relationships. But it was just such an amazing read, and it really inspired me because I was just so inspired by how the author kind of crafted this world and this story with so many layers. I also wanted to mention the Kobo. I have been using the Kobo Libra, I believe, and I haven't had it for about a year, and it has completely removed all my barriers for reading. I always wanted to get really into reading, but I found that there was just something that was kind of getting in the way. I don't know if it was going to the library or going to a bookstore, but now that I have the e-reader and I have Libby directly on here, I can just look up a book, borrow it from the library, and it's already here. I don't have to do any other steps. And that, for me, has allowed me to read so much more. I had never allowed myself to investigate getting e-readers before because I'm usually a very tactile, physical person, and I thought I would not enjoy not holding the book and feeling the book. But for me, this has just allowed me to read so much easier and, again, removed kind of all the barriers that were stopping me before. For some reason, this spring, light blue, kind of periwinkle color has been really, really speaking to me. I made this poncho, which I also wore all spring. This is the plain yoke poncho by Lanit, but this is the exact color that I'm talking about. Just this nice, light, kind of periwinkle, sky blue. It has been really inspiring me this spring and summer, honestly. This poncho I knit because I was really drawn to this one cropped poncho. I believe it was also mohair on toast, but of course it was really expensive. And I figured it'd be a fun kind of challenge to knit it myself because I've been learning knitting and I have worn it so much. Obviously it's a little bit too warm to wear now in almost summer, but early spring this was perfect because it's just a light thing to throw on, but it's offers a lot of warmth because it's mohair and merino wool, and it's just so soft and the color is just so springy. So I was styling this so much this spring. Another artist that I've been really, really inspired by this spring and into summer is a Catalan singer and trombonist named Rita Paez. I think that's how you say it. I just kind of stumbled upon her music randomly. I've been specifically loving this album Imagina, which she recorded actually with her mother, who is a super talented and amazing classical guitarist. They're all kind of folk songs that she said that she grew up singing, and that it was a gift to herself to record this album with her mother. And they're just so comforting to me. It's just mostly just her voice and the classical guitar, and then sometimes she'll play trombone in it as well. But they just have such an uplifting feeling to them. I love to listen to them while I'm taking a morning walk and the sun is shining through the leaves and I just am listening to this beautiful music, and it just reminds me of a perfect day or a day at the beach. I don't know, something about it. It really puts me in a fantastic mood, and I love listening to it in the morning, especially on a walk. Moving into some clothing items, I got these jeans at the kind of beginning of spring. These are a Goldie. I think they're low loose, and I think this is the darkest color, which I believe is pure. I was looking for the pair of perfect low-rise wide leg jean. I've never really invested in a pair of jeans like these, but I've found that it is definitely worth it. Just the cut is so flattering, and I've gotten so many compliments on them, and they just really elevate an outfit. Just like a really nice pair of jeans, and they're so comfortable. So I have been loving these. Obviously, I won't be able to wear them too much in the summer, but these were absolutely a spring must, and I'm just gonna keep wearing them and wearing them so much. Another item that I have been on the hunt for like years is the perfect pair of clogs. I had a few pairs of Dansko, but something about them, like, I don't know how to describe it, but they just weren't right. And I really wanted a pair of Swedish clogs, but they're so expensive new, and I was just scouring the internet, as I love to do, for the perfect item. And I found these ones on Etsy. They are just, to me, the perfect clog. They have a wooden sole, which I love, and they have these straps, which is important because I've had 1 or 2 clog wipeouts in my lifetime. But what I love, especially, let me put one of these down, is that this like ankle strap doubles as kind of just like a decorative strap, which I think is so cute. So you can wear it as a regular mule or with the ankle strap. And these are just so practical to me. I love the brown, and I surprisingly love the patent leather. I like the shininess of it. These are Volsio is the brand, I think. Sorry, it's kind of dirty. But I found these on Etsy, as I mentioned, and I wanted to share the name of the seller because her shop on Etsy was so amazing. Like, it was so curated. I loved the product images. It just looks like she took so much time to take like amazing styled artsy photos of the products. And her shop name is Little Bird Vintage, bird with a Y. As I mentioned earlier, I feel like I've been going on a lot of morning walks in the spring, and I'm gonna try to continue doing that in the summer. 2 things that I was really loving for my morning walks were these 2 little bags. This one is a Gimagwas belt bag. Obviously, it was like pretty trendy last summer, but I just fell in love with it, and I felt like it was something that I was going to use a lot, and I do because I wear a lot of things without pockets randomly, I feel like. Well, maybe that's just women's clothing in general. But especially in the spring and summer, you're not wearing a big jacket, you know, you don't have big pockets for your keys, your phone, that kind of thing. And this to me is so perfect because, you know, it's very slim, it's not too heavy. I can put my wallet, keys, phone in here, and then if I'm listening to music, I can put my little AirPods case in here, and it's just really cute and extremely practical. And also this little, I think it's a Coach wristlet that I got off of ThreadUp, and this has been so perfect for morning walks as well. I can put my phone in here, my wallet, my keys, and just slip it around my wrist and carry it like this. I don't have to carry a giant bag. We've been seeing like a lot of little coin purses with long straps on like the runways this season. So this is like kind of a fun way to integrate that into kind of daily life in a more practical way because it's big enough to fit my phone, and it's just so cute. Lately, I've been kind of on a mission to transition all of my like undergarments to 100% organic cotton. I decided to treat myself to some of the Cuckoo Intimates little undies, and I cannot recommend them enough. It seems like an investment, but when I thought about it more, it's like you wear those literally every day, and it's so fun to have something that feels so cute but is also organic cotton and just much healthier for you to be wearing. The last kind of garment, apparel, bag, clothing item I want to mention is this giant Moroccan woven basket bag. I've been seeing these around a lot this spring, and I think they're going to be everywhere in the summer. I purchased that one off of Etsy, but I've been really loving it to bring to the market or also just to bring like as a picnic bag to the park. I like to journal at the park or knit, and so it's a great bag to throw in the picnic blanket, any like project that I want to work on. And it's really cool because this one in particular has a little top that you can cinch Sometimes these kind of big tote bags, you don't necessarily want to bring around in the city because I feel like somebody could just kind of reach in and grab your stuff, but this is nice because you kind of can feel a bit more secure. But I will link the seller for this. I highly recommend. Moving more into like homeware items, I have been loving these for a while, but I wanted to talk about wax candles, specifically from this company, Big Dipper Waxworks. I really love these in particular because they use beeswax, which is a lot better for the environment than soy wax. And so these already have like a really nice kind of honey scent naturally. This company really only uses natural essential oils to scent their candles. They kind of have like an aromatherapy vibe to them. This is my favorite scent from their aromatherapy line. It's called Rejuvenation, and it is sweet orange and clove bud. I'm usually someone who's very, very sensitive to scents. I kind of get a headache, or I get overpowered a lot by more cloying scents. It's not cloying at all. It's very light, very natural, but it's just very warm, and it kind of works for any season, I feel like. I also get their taper candles and big pillar candles. This one is unscented, but just the honey smell from it that is just naturally occurring in beeswax is so pleasant. I feel like something that I really developed this spring, and I'm going to be definitely doing in the summer, is like a clear, kind of very meditative morning routine. It's definitely been punctuated by my morning pages, but also by my kind of tea tray routine. I had been really wanting a good tray, and it was just hard for me to find one that I really liked anywhere. And I found a set of these on Etsy. I think they might be vintage Japanese trays. And I have 3 different sizes of these. This is the medium size, so there's one larger and one smaller. And I just really like the design. It's very clean, has kind of this flat bottom and then little metal sides. It's stained black, and it's just a very, clean, minimal, but like still very designed. These I have been loving for putting my tea on in the morning or having an afternoon tea. Even just like for home decor, corralling stuff on the table. I've loved kind of purposefully getting little items to be part of my like tea tray in the morning, part of my morning routine. So another little item is this tiny little spoon that I got when I was in Portland, Oregon at this really cool store called Kiriko Made. This spoon is just so bespoke. It's so sweet. It's a little ceramic spoon, and it just makes my tea in the morning so much better because it's such a sweet little spoon. I also love my little teacups that feel very intentional, and this teapot is a new addition, but I have been using it literally every day since I've gotten it. It is the For Life Stump Teapot, and it comes with a little stainless steel strainer. It's like very much so like a personal sized teapot. I can get about like 2 or 2.5 little teacups worth. So it's just the perfect way to start my morning. I love pouring myself a few cups of tea while doing my morning pages. I have really loved developing that morning routine, and I feel like these little bespoke kind of objects have helped me to really curate my routine and start the day in the best way and mood possible. Getting to the end here, I wanted to quickly mention some skincare, makeup favorites, and then also some media that I've been enjoying. I don't have it with me, but I'll include a picture. I've been using the Elta MD UV Sheer sunscreen, and I've been really enjoying it. I realized the past few years how important it is to protect your skin, protect your face, especially I'm very fair and pale, so I burn very easily. But that is a must for me in the spring and summer. And I mostly just use it on my face, and then I'll use a different body sunscreen. But that one is really nice. It feels very light on the face, and it gives you kind of a nice dewy look, which I feel like just looks very healthy. And then I only have 2 little makeup things I wanted to mention. But I recently found a blush combo that I just have been loving. I'm wearing it right now, actually. I first used this Merit Flush Balm in Postmodern. It's just kind of this deep red berry color, so I do that first. And then my friend gifted me this Rhode Pocket Blush in Piggy. This one is more of a like baby pink. And I like to layer this on top, kind of just on the high points of my cheek, and I feel like it gives a really nice, like natural kind of gradient and flush, and it just looks so much better than either one of these like on their own. And I feel like it'll just be really nice to have a natural flush into the summertime, and I think I'll be doing it a lot in my makeup. I lastly wanted to mention some media that I've been loving on YouTube. I have been really loving the ceramicist and YouTuber Issei Roque. This is nothing new for me. I found her maybe a year and a half ago. Her videos I just find so inspiring, so calming. She is such an inspiration for me, like for making videos, but also just her art practice and her world that she's created is just so beautiful. And anytime she posts, I get so excited, and it's just such a calming, fun watch. I've also really been enjoying Poppy in Residence here on YouTube as well. She is a knitwear designer, and she's based in France, I believe. And she just has a really unique video style, editing style, and I just find it really fun to watch, and it's just like a fun perspective, and she just makes really beautiful knitwear pieces as well. So I've been really inspired by her videos as well. And I've also really been loving the streaming service Kanopy, which you can access if you have a library card from anywhere. You can access it for free, and I believe you get like 20 credits a month to use. Usually like movies or like series are like 4 credits each, so you get, I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 different movies or series that you can watch each month. And I just really love the selection on there. It's, you know, more, they do have some popular stuff, but it's a bit more like artsy or indie stuff. I had watched Past Lives on there, City of God on there, and I recently watched the 1995 version of Pride and Prejudice on there, the BBC one, and that I just absolutely loved. It just gave me a feeling like no other, just hopefulness and joy and excitement. And it's just so cool that it's free. It's a very much like a educational, learning, good media platform. Thank you so much for tuning in to my favorites this spring and summer. I don't know if I will do this on a regular cadence. Let me know what you think. But I really enjoyed sharing with you, and I will see you soon.